Hello everyone, welcome once again to the PAX Pokemon League Australia 2016 Draft Tournament. I am Professor Fern, and going around the table we have Uncle Kaka.
Hey everyone.
And going next we have the one and only NovaCascade.
Hi everyone.
And finally, but not least, without video unfortunately, we have Beavwa.
Hi everyone.
Alright, so gotta say guys, this one has been an extremely difficult episode to put together. Hopefully this is the one that's going to work and be, usable. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers
If my
crossed.
computer catches fire or something again, it might look weird.
And brandy.
Touch whiskey! Brandy! Lucky brandy.
See, this is what we've been missing the whole time.
The lucky brandy, yes. So, getting straight into it. Big shout out before we get started to Guffy, the leader of the Houndooms team, the Perth Hills Houndooms, I believe it was, for putting together this tournament. This wouldn't actually be possible without him, so thank you very much, Guffy. I salute you. All right.
Yes, very good indeed.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun so far. We're only in week 2.
Definitely looking to many more fun battles. Or crushing defeats.
Crushing and random cries of shenanigans.
Look, even when I lose, I'm having a lot of fun. It's great to try something a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe we might put together one of these tournaments for PPL as a whole later on. We'll see what happens afterwards, after PAX East. Which coincidentally, our finals round actually happens at PAX or on PAX East weekend.
Really?
Just by pure coincidence.
We can steal that thunder.
I like
I'm
your
sure
thinking.
everybody will be tuning in to watch us do the final of our tournament when one of the biggest conventions in the US is going on.
Hey, come on, guys. People have to have priorities. Seriously.
All right then. So let's just jump in straight into the first battle. Which one have you got queued up for us first, Kaka?
I'm actually at the order we were talking about the whole time, queued up, so I've got that sitting in my VLC playlist.
Oh, good. That makes sense. That makes it so much easier. So first up, we have Kaka with the Adelaide Crobats versus Llama, the Perth Coast Cloysters.
Alright, let's get this one underway here. Or do we want to have a bit of a chat about this one first? Actually, let's talk about teams first. Seems like a good idea.
All right,
yeah.
Go for it.
Llama's team, as you can see, is pretty similar to what he had last week. There was one notable alteration that I think you mentioned before there, Nova.
Yes, Llama didn't bring his Nido King against me last week, for which I was infinitely grateful because it meant my Jolteon could pretty much run train on anything, but he's brought it this week, I presume, as a bit of an extra poison coverage for Yoko Fable.
Well, it did certainly prove its worth last week, and that is very weak against the poison type, so it is definitely something I was quite concerned about seeing. But what scared me a lot more, as I was talking to you guys about before, is the prevalence of the poison, the fighting types. Llama and I had this phone chat going while we were battling out Mano, and he was telling me after the battle that one of the things he was really concerned about, and he was really tuning his team up for, is that he saw a weakness to fighting in my team. And that Toxicroak, that's a poison and fighting type in one there. The thing that scares me most about it, it's really deceptively fast. Between that and the speed of the Mega Glade,
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely something you've got to plan for.
Yep.
And
Alright.
I've brought most of the same sort of team as I did last week there as well. So I've got my Breloom, I've got my Mega Zard Y, I've got the Porygon, the Clefable. 2 notable changes for me was the Kecleon, and the Ditto came out this time there as well.
Yes.
So that
So
was
both of those Pokemon, I don't know what to do with. Like Ditto, it could be anything on your team. Like that's its whole deal. It's the wild card. It throws something of yours back at you. The Kecleon, I just don't know what to make of. Honestly, just haven't seen too many of them used before.
Alright, well,
Not wanting to give too much away, but because I am facing Kaka and the Crobats next week, but honestly, his team terrifies me. It really does. There's just so much in there that is just... Honestly, I think Kaka probably had the best draft of any of us.
I think he may have. There's a few things in there I've got answers for on my team. Others, not so much. So it could be interesting.
And on the flip side there, Fern, I mean, with some of the choices I had to make, because if everyone remembers, I had to pick off first, so I started the least information.
Yes.
So my strategy really for that draft was pick the most offensive, problematic thing I could pick, and make you guys pick against my pick.
Yeah, so you got your Kecleons, you got your Dittos, I believe you got a Zoroark in there, but not on this there today. Was that you who had the Zoroark?
No, Dazzle's got the Zoroark.
Dazzle's got the Zoroark, yeah. So, yeah, like the troll team, basically.
It's pretty solid, though. Alright, let's get this one started.
Alright then. Ooh. I forgot I had the volume cranked right up on that. Just as well I'm wearing cans.
I got
So,
mine down,
alright.
so let me just try to turn that up a bit so everyone can enjoy a little bit of sound there. Since
Just a
I'm
teeny
sort of-
tiny bit. There we go.
We'll see how that goes. So this was a really, really interesting lead for me. As you can see, I led with the Breloom, same as I did last week. And I was really, really banking on Llama to lead with the Arcanine. So the Ludicolo was really, really surprising. But obviously the Spore's not going to do anything to a grass type. So for me, that's just straight switch into something that's going to cause it a problem. And given that was a rain move, that's a free switch. That was nice and clean for me.
Yep.
This, I think, was really the beginning of the end for him, unfortunately. That Thunderwave really cutting the Toxicroak's speed opened the ball game right up. That's... I guess that's like your full forwards all getting tripped up with tied up shoelaces or something.
Speed control is really important. It really is.
It is.
That's it.
It can make or
That
break
double
your game.
heal. That double heal it's got going certainly helping.
Oh yeah.
Dry skin and black sludge.
And Drain Punch.
Oh,
And
and yeah,
drain
so triple heal on one turn.
Triple heal.
Absolutely, and I mean, yeah, I can put a big hole in it, but same as it could put a big hole in me. But neither of us is really getting the upper hand there. And I mean, obviously, I'm showing off this a bolt beamer here, which means that taking that Ludicolo out was a great idea because that was just going down in one hit, no matter what I hit it with. But I mean, the advantage here is I'm pretty much stalling out this rain here to just get it off the field. So I
And
can get
eventually he'll get paralyzed.
that. Yeah, exactly.
Well, yes.
It is what it is. I mean, they can just sit there, and I can live, and I can recover, and it's not really so much of a problem.
So this is just a bit of a boring bit, a bit of back and forth as you kind of feel each other out here.
Absolutely.
Oh, there we go.
So there's my switch out here, and this pretty much seals the deal about now. That Swords Dance may have been his one opportunity to really do anything to stop this.
Yep. Unfortunately, he does waste that switch out using the Swords Dance and then immediately swapping back out again.
Unfortunately, this is where I go Mega, and that Zard really gets in and does his business. And it leaves Furfros all over the place once it is finished with what it's doing. Now, I actually especially bred this Charizard just for this particular battle. I actually changed a couple of my egg moves up to crunch numbers against the poison and the fighting types. So it was definitely something that I didn't think, and I don't think any of you are actually going to expect to see this one. And there it is. Air Slash Charizard.
Yeah. That was a bit nasty, that.
Yes, unfortunately I didn't manage to get the second flinch there, but that's alright.
Yep. For a not very effective move there, that actually took quite a good whack off that Charizard.
You have to understand though, is Stab, it's under the drought as well. The Charizard doesn't have much in the way of defense.
Yep. Yep.
But it hits like a special cannon. It's what it is. It is going to kill whatever it hits.
Oh yes.
Yeah, from here we are pretty much just into sweep mode now. Poison, of
Yeah.
course, being vulnerable.
Yep. So we got the Mega Gallade coming out.
This was the only thing I was really worried about in this particular battle, as to whether that Gallade was going to actually have the speed on me or not. And I've since figured out that he actually was not running full speed on this one.
Oh.
Because that Charizard should not have beaten the Gallade if it was max speed. But it did, so we got the business done there, and that's finished it off.
Yep, there goes Ludicolo. And the return of the Troxicoke.
Because it just doesn't have the speed anymore, it's just going to get burnt out.
Yep. Yep, and that's game.
Yeah, unfortunately, not a
Llama.
super exciting one, but yes, 6-0 on a Charizard. Ouch.
Yeah. That's actually really got to hurt.
I guess that's the interesting thing about the Megas with this generation as well, is that they have so much potential to sweep. You really have to be careful to have something to counter.
Yep.
We all have a Mega on each team as well, so we can all capitalise on that. It's not like we've not got a Mega.
Yeah.
With the Pokemon League for PAX team last year, I was seriously considering, do I actually want to run a Mega or not? And very nearly didn't. So
Yeah.
it is entirely possible to beat without a Mega. But obviously in this particular format, the Mega does have that huge advantage, so let's take it on.
Absolutely. Okay, so next video along the lines, I believe, should be Duke versus Nova, the Bidoofs, sorry, versus the Milotics, if I have got this correct.
You have?
Excellent.
Now, hopefully
All right.
my video will cooperate this time, because I was having it was jumping around with Kaka's battle, so hopefully I'll be able to keep up with where we were going.
All right. So, let's see. We've got on Duke's side, we have a Dragonite, an Ambipom, Bob, the Quagsire. It's probably not Bob, but whatever. Quagsires are always Bob now. The Hawlucha, the Doublade, and his Mega Sableye. Yep.
And I brought along... Sorry.
I was just going to say,
I brought along my... Yeah.
let's try that again.
You go.
Yeah.
I was going to say that the Duke's team is actually almost identical to the team that he took against me last week. The only real change was bringing in the Dragonite in this particular case.
Yeah, I'm actually still kind of a little surprised he didn't bring the Dragonite last week.
No, it would have died to me horribly. Unfortunately, I had basically 3 or 4 things against it.
True. So, yes. What do we got here, Nova?
What we've got here, I brought along my Granbull, Jolteon, Gastrodon, Trevenant, Mandibuzz, and Excadrill. Only real change from last week was bringing in the Trevenant as opposed to my Mega Metachamp, so I was actually coming without my Mega this week. Obviously, Bob is terrifying, so I needed some grass coverage for that. Thankfully, Duke did bring it along, so that wasn't a completely wasted change. But as you'll see, it did not do me much good.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I didn't play this battle particularly well, but there was a couple of turns where everything just sort of fell apart. Unfortunately, the very first turn was one of those. I was behind the 8 ball straight away. Leads did not work out very well for me, so I kind of had a plan in place, assuming Duke was going to lead with his Sableye, as he did last week, but we'll see what happens when we all press play.
Actually, last week he led with the Ambipom, and then brought the Sableye in when the Ambipom got shot down by the Breloom. So it was actually a second play as well.
Yes.
Yes, it was.
Well, considering the Ambipom didn't last very long, it was easy to forget that it was there.
All right, well, let's hit play and see what happens here, shall we?
All right. So
Also,
we
strip
just, skip past the lead in
Yes, if we can synchronise a bit.
eventually.
There we are.
There we go.
Oh dear, now
Yeah,
my video's
so-
playing up, so never mind.
So we have the
fingers crossed.
Dragonite lead here. What was your thoughts on that when you saw that coming out?
I was terrified. I mean, I could have gone straight up for. I was carrying Rock Slide on my Excadrill, which would have hit through Mold Breaker, with Mold Breaker through the multiscale. But I mean, Dragonites carry Earthquake pretty commonly, so it was. I was expecting him to be running a D-Dance set, but I figured going into the Gramble would be a fairly middle ground play and work out okay. Thankfully, I do force the Dragonite out. And what does he go into? Into the Deblade. Thunderwave would have been fantastic had he stayed in, but, Deblade, it's nice to get some paralysis on there. Obviously, I'm not going to be staying in with a potential Iron Head or something like that, so I go into my Mandibuzz, which was one of my defensive core, which was good. Managed to get the knockoff on and get rid of that Eviolite, which was going to be a huge help. Eviolite bulk is always a pain for me to deal with. But somehow, I just never seem to get around it. But thankfully, I do have the Rocky Helmet on my Mandibuzz. As you can see, it's not taking much damage. The Deblade's probably doing more damage to itself than it is to me. I do end up U-turning out here, to be honest. I don't really know why. I was sitting in there fairly pretty, but ended up going out into, back into Gramble. My Gramble is carrying the Fire Punch, and this turn was really what screwed me up, because first of all, the Deblade lives, doesn't get paralyzed, and crits me with an Iron Head, which I was so not happy when this happened. Gramble really was the glue that was holding my team together, and unfortunately it went down, and I have to deal with that. Here, again, not really good. What did I do here? Yeah, I went for the knockoff. The Deblade was going to attack me. It was going to go down with Rocky Helmet. I should have just roosted, got back up to full HP, and had a bit more health, not being down at half health when the Ember Palm comes in and fakes out. So here I think I do end up going for the roost on the switch, which was good. Thankfully the Mandibuzz isn't taking much damage from the Ember Palm, so it was able to sort of sit in there and get back to full without doing too much damage to itself. Here, though, is where things really start falling apart. The Sableye comes in, gets a burn on me. This was one of the other reasons that Gramble was going to be so useful to me, was that it was actually carrying Heal Bell. It was my Cleric. Obviously, Sableye doesn't have to Mega straight up. It can sit in there and priority Will-O-Wisp all the things. And without Gramble there, I've got no way of getting rid of that. Here was a play that I was trying to make happen, and it just didn't work. At this point, the Sableye was not set up. It didn't have any defense boosts, so I was hoping that Duke was going to go into his Quagsire to eat up an electric-type move. Made the double into Trevenant, and it, as you can see, did not pan out. Sableye can now sit in here and just set up all over my face. Trevenant was carrying a couple of status moves, the Leech Seed, the Will-O-Wisp. In the event that the Sableye was already gone, of course, with the Magic Bounce, that is all completely useless. So here, yeah, as I say, Sableye can come in, set up Calm Minds, go for Dark Pulses. It has all the answer. Well, it is what it is, and I've got none of the answers I thought I had. Gramble being gone, I can't play Rough It. It's obviously got no other weaknesses. I sit in here and go for 2-3 scalds, I think. Don't even get a burn. There's no residual damage going on. Everything was just working against me, and at this point I'm sort of throwing my head back, throwing my hands up, saying, what am I going to do to get past this? So it's just setting up in my face. Sableye, Mega Sableye in particular, is such a defensive monster. Like, it can sit in there. It's got huge defenses, special defenses, which are almost as good. You know, with Will-O-Wisp, you can't hit it physically. Calm Mind, you can't hit it specially. You can't Toxic it. You can't. It's just such a pain in the butt. It really is. And yeah, as I say, I sit in here and at this point I'm just waiting for Gastrodon to go down so I can bring something else in to die, because I've really got no answers. Recover for absolutely no reason, really. Eventually it's just letting the Sableye sit in here and set up some more. So, I mean, I'm fully admitting that I didn't play this match well. If, you know, had I still had my Granbull around, I would have hopefully been better off, but unfortunately that's the way things go. That crit Ironhead really screwed me over. Going back out into the Mandibuzz here, at this point I've seen his whole moveset, so I know that Dark Pulse is the only thing he has. But again, there's not much I can do. I was carrying Whirlwind on my Mandibuzz, but obviously with Magic Bounce that doesn't do anything either. All that's going to do is get me switched out. So Knockoff's doing nothing. U-turn I think is my only other move, which is also not going to do much. The Sableye just really messed me up.
Yeah, it's just sitting in there. It's just not. You're not going to get rid of that thing, unfortunately. It's just way too established.
Yeah, here actually I think is where I get finally a little bit of luck, but in the end I don't think it was even luck that I really wanted. I get a freeze on the Ice Beam, which is good because it gets me a free switch into my Jolteon, because I think my Gastrodon's going to go down this turn. And thankfully it does stay frozen for quite some time, which honestly surprised me. I'm fairly sure Will-O-Wisp will actually thaw yourself out. So, you know, at this point I was just sort of going to sit in here and T-Bolt, waiting for him to Will-O-Wisp himself out of freeze.
Actually, it does unfreeze in this particular case. There's a limited number of fire moves that Scald that will do it. So Will-O-Wisp won't actually unfreeze it.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay. I thought I've seen that before, or maybe it was just a lucky turn where that was the turn he was going to thaw out anyway. Thankfully, my Jolteon, despite the Calm Minds, is doing a decent amount. But of course, the turn before he's going to go down. He gets the thaw out, gets the recover off, and at this point I'm tearing my hair out thinking, what am I going to do? Like Sableye can just sit in here, Calm Mind. I'm pretty sure at this point he's already up to +3 or +4. And it can recover. I'm not doing enough damage, and I think, you know, Jolteon's got all the defenses of a wet paper bag, so thankfully
there it goes.
Here, I mean, you can paralyze a Mega Sableye, but what, base speed 20? That's not gonna do a lot to it anyway. Thankfully, I mean, at this point he didn't recover there, because now I can actually go into my Excadrill and finally go for an Earthquake and finally get rid of this blasted thing that has given me nightmares ever since. But I mean, at this point I think I'm down to my Excadrill and my Trevenant, and Duke's got everything still to go. Here I actually start sort of working my way back in, expecting the high jump kick. I make the switch into Trevenant, which does work out. But here I was kind of... I mean, I should have seen the Sky Attack coming and gone back into Excadrill, but, I mean, you know, risking another high jump kick maybe not have been worth it, but, you know, Trevenant's going to go down, and I think at this point, I think Excadrill is all I have. Oh no, I do still have my Mandibuzz. But obviously burned, it's not doing a lot. This week, just because of, you know, how moves work, 4 move syndrome, of course, I'm not carrying the Brave Bird this week, so, and even if it was with the burn, it's not going to do a lot, unfortunately. The Hawlucha then, of course, pulls out the Acrobatics, which, now that it's taken its Power Herb off with the Sky Attack, it is obviously doing a lot more damage. Again, playing terribly, again, with my Mandibuzz. Again, I should have just sat in here, roosted, let it all take itself out with the Rocky Helmet. But I was actually expecting was it this turn? No, next turn. With the Hawlucha down on such low health, I was actually expecting it to be holding Roost. So I think I actually go for a Whirlwind here to get rid of it, having roosted up, but of course it goes for Acrobatics, takes itself out with the Rocky Helmet, and again, had I roosted, been on a lot better HP, and yeah, just not playing well, not thinking my moves through, going too fast, and I think at this point the Dragonite comes in and starts setting up again. No, I think actually here I did actually pull the Whirlwind off and send it out. Having Dragon danced in my face didn't work out, but it goes into probably the worst possible thing, being the Ambipom, which can then proceed to just fake out, and obviously I'm not going to get another Roost off. Had I done it in the face of the Hawlucha, I'd been in a lot better position, but yeah, not a good game. Things just didn't work out for me. Now I'm pretty sure I'm down to just the Excadrill, and I think here the Ambipom was pulled out. Yes, the fake out Last Resort is all it's carrying. So Last Resort does so much damage, and yeah, everything's just falling apart at this point. I'm just like, yeah, well, let's just go. Went for the Rock Slide there. Didn't go for the Earthquake, whether or not the Dragonite was going to come in, but obviously that Last Resort did so much damage. And just to rub everything in my face, my last Rock Slide misses. So, yeah. Summary? As soon as Granville went down, it was only a matter of time, unfortunately.
Sadly, yeah.
Sometimes it's just that there's linchpins if you can't protect them, or the unexpected happens, and sometimes you just can't capitalise.
Crits happen.
Crits happen.
Crits happen. Not much you can do on that, unfortunately.
Okay. So that's another win to... I've entirely forgotten what team that was. This is the most unprofessional on me. The Bidoofs actually get a win. Yes. He didn't actually waste a slot with the mascot this week.
Yeah. So in our pool, I think Kaka's now sitting at 2-0, Duke and I are 1-1, and unfortunately Llama's at 0-2.
Yes.
It is what it is, though.
It's a long season. We'll come back.
Oh yeah, plenty of time to change things yet. Right then. So the next battle is myself versus Dezzles, the North Sydney Ninetales versus the North Queensland Noiverns. So, not too many changes to my team this week. I swapped out the Gigalith for the Walrein this week. Expected that Venusaur might give me some trouble, so I wanted a bit of extra ice coverage.
In terms of Dezzle's team, it looks fairly similar to last week's team there as well.
He's switched 2 out of 3.
2 and 3, yeah.
He has.
Yeah,
yep.
I didn't have to face the Malamar or the Venusaur last week.
But he's still got the Altaria, the Azumarill, the Ninetales, of course, and the Ferroseed.
Yes.
Forest.
Fortress. It's metal, not metal grass. I don't know. All right.
Still hates
So yeah,
fire.
I'm not going to say too much about this battle until it's actually going, because it kind of becomes a bit obvious as what's going on through this thing.
What was your opening strategy there, Fern?
Well, my opening strategy, I was looking at his team before hitting play, and I was not sure where he would go with the opener. I felt the smart money was on the Fortress, but I wasn't entirely certain. I was thinking maybe he might come in with the the Venusaur and set up a bit, or he might come in with the Altaria and maybe get an early sweep. So I went for the safe play and went for the Pikachu Volt Switch opener, which is always a good safe bet, just a scout and then go from there. Looking at his team, I was expecting trouble from the Venusaur. I've had lots of bad trouble with Venusaurs in the past. Thank you, PAX Pokemon League.
This is not a Mega
Venusaur
Venusaur this time.
Mega Venusaur is the bane of my existence. That Malamar, I have not seen too many Malamars. I didn't know what to expect. Being a Psychic Dark type, it could be quite evil. The Ninetales, I think I pretty much had its number from last week. I believe that's the same Ninetales. Fortress, of course, is all about... Yeah, Fortress is all about the entry hazards. So yeah, I felt I had a fairly good team with my usual standbys. The Mega Aggron, of course, being my go-to card for quite a lot of things, as well as the Noivern, of course, the mascot. Pikachu being little yellow evil that it is. So yeah, shall we take a look? It's going to blow my ears off again. I've really got to make sure I turn the volume down before I hit play. So just wait for the intro.
Well, we're
There we
actually
go.
a fair way through this one at the moment. We're actually up to where you brought your egg running in against the Mega Altaria at the moment.
Oh well, I have fallen way behind. So let me
I
actually
just
find.
started as well.
Yes.
Oh well.
Let me skip. I just got to find the right spot.
So you just megaed there.
Okay. So the Mega Aggron. This game I had quite a few big gambles in. There was some places where Dazzles was quite obviously expecting me to switch out, and I believe you should be coming up on one very, very shortly. I'm just trying to find the right spot. With the Mega Aggron against the Ninetales. Now, the smart money there is when an Aggron is up against the Ninetales, or really any fire type, the smart money is swap out, possibly to the Noiverns, something that could eat the flamethrower. I did not do that. I threw caution to the wind, figured he'd be banking on a swap out, and yeah, went in full blast instead.
You definitely picked that one quite nicely. Taking out the Venusaur, that was a very, very clean and cute kill.
Yes. Mega Aggron being the heavy, thick, meaty shield that it is a very good physical blocker. So I was able to take the Earthquake there quite easily and quite comfortably to take out that Venusaur. All right. So yeah, the Ninetales, of course, makes a return. This time I gambled again. Lost this time and lost my Aggron as a result, so I went into the Blastoise. This Ninetales I actually forgot was packing a Solar Beam, and not only that, it's packing the single move Solar Beam. So take the opportunity that I was given, rapid spin, get rid of all those spikes. Blastoise has done its job at that point. But yeah, I swap him out. Bring in the Ultra Duck, the Magmortar. It's going to take another Solar Beam to the face. Magmortar cares not. I am hoping we're actually fairly synchronized with our time codes, by the way, right now.
Just a little bit behind. You're facing the Inca at the moment.
Okay, the Malamar, yeah. Let me just skip for a tiny bit. So yeah, I take a shot there, go with the Focus Blast, which luckily does hit. Malamar does not like Focus.
Yeah, have you?
No, actually. The only move I've really had a bad miss with was a Iron Tail in the first game off the Pikachu. So yeah, the Malamar, it's physical. It's just going to keep whacking on, taking Rocky Helmet damage. Unfortunately, it does have lefties, which more or less negates quite a lot of that Rocky Helmet. It also has a burn though, so
yeah.
that flame body.
It can only take so many hits, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. So this round here was basically mutual destruction. What was going to go down the first, the Malamar or the Magmortar? The Magmortar goes down. The Malamar actually survives one more turn. So, being a quick turn, out comes the Pikachu. I'm not going to reveal how that thing's put together, by the way.
That is definitely something that the entire league actually wants to know.
Yeah, I think I have to face it next week.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I think
just
Fern's my
smacks
last
down
opponent, so I just have to remember.
Yes, you are. This actually surprised me. The Ninetales, I was certain that the Pikachu would be faster than it. No, it wasn't. So out comes the Noivern, fire type against dragon type. It's going to go fairly one way. The Hurricane actually lands. Again, I haven't missed a Hurricane yet either. Takes out that
Isn't
Ninetales.
it only 50%?
Not sure. All right. So, Mega Altaria, it would be rather silly to leave the Noivern in there, being Dragon against Fairy. It'd have a Moonblast or something up the sleeve for it. Goes for a return. Mr. Mustache does not care. So, Walrein, Earthquake, takes it like a champ, throws back an Ice Beam, and that is the end of the Altaria. And I believe that is the end of the battle. Yes, it is. Do not underestimate a well-placed mustache. So
I think the Altaria would have been packing a Moonblast. It probably would have been packing a Pixelate Hyper Voice or something like that, which is going to do the same job, just probably better.
Yeah. Or something like that. So I was not willing to leave the Noivern in there with the Altaria because it would get creamed. Admittedly, it probably would have been able to take that return, but after that return, if I stayed in another turn, that's when the big shot would have come out. And yeah, stab Moonblast, stab Pixelate.
Yeah, I have just looked it up, and in harsh sunlight, Hurricane accuracy 50%.
Yes, and yet, so I feel I should apologise to Dezzles. I have the hacks during this game. The hacks have had me ever since today, but that moment I had the hacks.
Hey, take it when you can get it.
Yeah. Absolutely. So yeah, taking that, leaving that Mega Aggron in for that extra turn really paid off. I think that was the turning point of the battle. Had I swapped him out and gone with the Noivern, it could have ended up very, very differently.
So who would you say is your MVP in that match then?
MVP, I'd probably actually give to the Magmortar. It got in there, it did some work. It pretty much countered out that Malamar, which I was expecting to be a lot more hazard and a lot more trouble than it actually ended up being. Just because it got the burn and it was banging on the rocky helmet and it more or less just kind of murdered itself against the Magmortar. So that'd be my MVP. Oddly enough, though, I'd actually, for Dezzles, I'd probably put the Ninetales or the Malamar as his MVP for more or less the same reasons. That Malamar tied up my Magmortar quite well.
That's a hard-working Ninetales he's got as well.
That Ninetales is quite a sneaky fish, yes. Except it's a fox. Whatever. But I was very surprised. I was certain that my Pikachu would be faster than the Ninetales, but nope. Ninetales can move really, really quickly when it wants to.
I think he actually choice scarfed it against me just to make sure it outsped the Mega Beedrill, which is an insane amount of speed.
Yeah,
he did.
He did. I didn't believe he had it in there for more than one turn, so I wasn't actually able to scout out whether or not it was still choice scarfed. It probably was. But
No, I think he did change it up. I think he went straight from a flamethrower to a solar beam, so must have been running something else.
So yeah, yep. So that's both for me, myself, and Dazzles is 1 win, 1 loss each now. We have one more battle. This one's all yours, Beav.
All right.
Yourself.
Okay, so this week I'm up against the tournament organizer, and it's just like, well, I don't like my chances. But
Yeah.
yeah, basically looking, he's got a lot of his Snorlax is scary. His I have no idea how to deal with a Mega Low Punny, so he brought both of those. So I just went, right, what are the 6 that I don't want to face the most? I assume he's going to bring those, and that's pretty much what he brought.
Yep. Watch out for that Doug trio. It's sneaky.
Yeah, well, that's
I'll
where
tell
I
you
went.
that.
Okay, so yeah, I saw that one in last week's match and went, okay, so it can't take a hit, but it's fast and it'll hit hard and one-hit KO things. So
That's one of the things I remember from Gen 1. In really early battles, like 20 years ago, we were you're hanging around the schoolyard, you're having a battle at lunch, and you're thinking, okay, so what's about the only thing faster than a Dog Trio? Oh, I know, Electrode.
Yeah. So you get there, you wiggle your eyebrows and things
explode, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But hey,
Alright.
it really upsets Doug Trio players.
So this week's battle, I just sort of went, well, I'm going to have some fun with it. I've thrown in a few unexpected things. I switched out 2 things from last week. Yeah, 2 things out of the possible 3 switches. So yeah, packed a few surprises. Hope that might be enough to get me through. And it was a very fun match, closer than I expected. So shall we press play?
Well, before we do, I'd just like to ask you, so what were you expecting him to lead with, and what were you planning to counter it with?
So I was half expecting the ghost type there. That was his lead last week, and like, well, that seems like a solid lead. I'm not sure what else he'd lead with, so I didn't like my main lead, the Galvantula. I benched that from last week, so I sort of went, well, I guess I'll lead with the Stunfisk because it's just a little troll that'll just annoy things. Seems like a good lead. So I didn't really have that many plans. I sort of brought a few tools and just thought I'd take it as it goes. But I didn't know that much what to expect.
All right, well, let's
I'm
start
probably a
with
lot less prepared. Okay, so starting now, and yep,
All
should
right then.
start. So yeah, I did actually choose to go with the Stunfisk for the lead, because that's where it likes to sit, from what I understand.
Just get forward a little bit, match that. There we go.
There we go,
Start
match
this
just
way.
starting. Yep, and of course,
Shiny dirt.
shiny.
Shiny
So look,
dirt.
I'm happy with this battle just because I got to use that shiny Stunfisk. And then he led with the Bunny. So I probably should have done a bit more research and realised that it's going to be using Fake Out a bit. All I knew was that it probably had a lot of Power Up Punch coming, and that was about it.
Yep.
So yeah,
Ooh, red
and
card. You don't see
yeah,
that often.
I have never used it before. I thought, well, this will be fun. I'll put that on there and see what happens. But as it is, it just put out the thing that I expected to be the lead. So I also
That's
noticed
so strange.
he didn't bring his
The
Tentacruel
red
this
card
week.
stops the flinch.
I think he did flinch. That was just I had first move on the second turn.
Oh,
Yeah,
was
it
oh,
was
okay,
just like-
never mind.
Yeah.
I'm just not paying attention.
Yeah, on the replay we don't really have the distinct turns as much. So look, there's my hack straight away. Very first discharge, I got to paralyze. So can't complain about that. Wasn't really a fan of those grass moves and the burn, so time to switch in the Altaria. And this one I just sort of set up. I went, well, what can it do? It's going to be a bit of a tank. It's going to help out. So it's got the heal bell there. Just taking the burn off Stunfisk, which is nice.
Get your free one
And
too, which is
oh
quite
look,
nice.
there's another paralyze. Like the luck was with me,
Yeah.
so I can't complain about that.
Yep. Here comes the Will-O-Wisp.
Yep. But I didn't really know that much what to do with it, so I'm like, oh well, I'll take it. Doesn't really matter that much. And I can't remember half of what I was actually thinking at this point. That's right. So this was my probably my favourite troll from last week. The Xatu with the magic bounce.
Yep. You
And
actually got
it's
quite a
another
lot of
fake
work
out.
out of that last week.
Yeah, it didn't get it. I don't think it only got any magic bounces off this week. So yeah, it didn't really find a spot there. So I've just if I'm not sure, I've started switching things out a bit more. There was a free switch then with the Protect 2. So we had a lot of switching going on early on to see how we were going to establish things. Those stealth rocks are helping too. And yep, hard switch in against a fire move. Scald, I don't know what I'm doing. I can't get a burn, but it's the only way I can damage. So both of them can't really do that much damage to each other. So this is one of those points where, you know, especially the singles game, it's fairly new to me. We do a lot of switching around, but this is one of those points where we both go, right, we like what we've got in, let's stand and trade. And this is actually where I made a slight miscalculation. So I thought, great, I can take one more of those grass moves. It looked like I'll have a little bit left, but, and then another free move. So it's like, I can survive one more, and then that means one more Scald, I'll actually get this. But
Nope.
Unfortunately, nope, it killed it. So I got to pay closer attention. So time for Stunfist to come back.
It's going to be shiny and derpy all at the same time.
Oh yes.
Because Stunfisk is Funfisk.
It is.
So this Snorlax, this is a scary Snorlax. I wasn't sure what to expect, whether it'd be a rest, I think, because you can do like rest, curse, and sleep talk and something big, but instead he's using stockpile. So then I thought, okay, stockpile, that's going to lead into a swallow to actually recover everything, but no, it keeps building up, keeps building up. So I'm just fishing for the paralyze here, hoping for more hacks. He's just building up his defense, so I can't really hurt him that much. A couple more rounds of that.
This looks very familiar.
It
Yeah,
does, doesn't it?
It's that thing is just turning into an absolute tank, and I'm just sitting here going, what do I do? I don't know what to do. It's big. It's beefed up all its defense. I'm barely even moving. Look, I got a paralyze. That's something, but I'm barely even moving that health bar. So I did.
Got a surprising amount of defense in it.
Yeah, it wasn't good. So I thought, well, maybe I'll come in with a big hitter. Something big. It can take the hits. It can do the damage. But have a look at this hit. So
There
what do
goes
I
the
use?
rest, and that's it.
Yep. So rest. He gets his health back. He's awake again because there's the berry. And look, here's one of my most powerful moves, Head Smash. 150. It actually hit this week, but 150 power, same type attack bonus, everything behind it, and it barely even scratched it. And it's like, okay, I can't dent this thing. Attack is not going to be the way to go. So maybe Stunfisk. That'll do it. It's
Yeah, that didn't work.
the Stunfisk switch I think was just to try to get the free switch because whatever came in. There we go.
You get the
One
free
last
stat
job.
here as well.
Yeah, on the way out, it did its job one last time. Thank you, Stunfisk. Another paralyze. So now it's like, well, I do have one trick in the bag that can stop things that have built up too much. Someone used this against me at PAX last year, so that was the only reason I thought of it. So the Perish Song was a nice thing that I just offhandedly threw on that Altaria, and it was the only thing that saved me at this point, or I was out.
Oh God, stockpiles up plus belly drum. That is terrifying.
Yeah,
That is really scary.
The Perish Song is like, well, let's see if he can take me down. So he can hit a couple of turns, and a paralyze. He's got 3 turns. One of them's paralyzed, so that helps. So I definitely had a lot of luck on my side. So we both just get one last hit.
Yep. Basically just kind of smacking each other to delay the inevitable here.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, anyone that stays in at this point is dead, so both of us go for the switch.
How do you live a +6 crunch though?
I think I set this one up defensively, like I just stacked everything into defense.
Fair enough.
So yeah,
All
that's
right.
at least the Snorlax half dealt with for now, and there's the Stealth Rock, that saves me. So the focus sash doesn't work anymore.
Nope.
I mean, so I tried to switch. I'm like, uh-oh, bad switch, get out. No, it's got arena trap. That's it. Aggron's stuck. It's dead. I can't do anything. And there's look more luck on my side. The Stone Edge misses, and I'm packing enough attack on that bye bye Dodrio. Oh, sorry, not Dodrio. Doug Trio.
All right.
So, Wiggles. I saw this one in action last week. Mostly just there as a Volt Switch kind of annoying fast type. It's also got Levitate, so you can't use Earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
I correctly predicted the Volt Switch there and roosted so it didn't do that much damage, which was fairly nice at least. And the Bunny Airy, and here comes another Fake Out. So I'll just switch into something that can tank it a bit.
But yeah, the artillery is going to fall over this turn anyway.
Yeah.
Mega
Yep.
Lopunny's scary.
Yes,
It
it
really
is.
is.
Right, it's just so fast, so powerful.
That said, it hasn't got that much defense or health, so I was hoping to get a couple of lucky hits off on it.
But it does have some very sweet moves.
Yes.
Oh,
I was
its move
expecting-
pool is amazing.
I was expecting an attacking move pool, but he's running Protect on it as well, so... But yeah, I think so. That's Fake Out, Protect, and Last Resort. And that hurts a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That
Oh,
should-
Perish
yeah,
Song does
I
not
suppose it's-
actually last through a swap out. That's good to know. I thought it actually, I
Yeah,
actually
no,
thought it
it's-
did.
it's-
So,
It's just a field effect, so...
mm.
So yeah, Mega Beedrill comes in. Am I ahead of everyone else, or is this...
No, you're right.
Yep. So
You're in, you're
yeah,
good.
I think that's a fairly standard thing to protect on the Mega Evolve to get the speed up. I didn't do it last week. I probably should have. So got that right this time at least.
Yep.
And it's got a lot of attack. I'll actually use the things with the same type attack bonus. So that's the end of the Snorlax. Yeah, I don't think that Bunny Airy could actually take a hit from the Beedrill. So that's why he had to switch out.
And of course couldn't Fake Out anymore, yeah.
So here, yep, I'm like, well, I've got a fair amount of attack. One more of those will probably do it. No poison, that's always nice. Right. And yeah, so I thought that great, this is a kill move, that'll kill it, and no. Another misjudgment.
Low roll.
So, bye-bye Zatu.
Yeah.
Just before that, I was thinking, hey, maybe I can still win this. You know, I've got a few things that can hit hard, because the Zatu can probably take care of the last one. But yeah, see here comes his big bulky seal type, and I have nothing left to deal with it. I've only got Beedrill left. So
Yeah.
this was it was closer than I expected. I had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, that's a glass cannon, that Beedrill, so down it goes.
Hmm.
And that puts me, I believe, at 0 and 2. So I'm tied with Llama as far as being the tournament whipping boy so far. But I'm having fun, so I get to show off a few shinies. I'm still giving everyone a run for, they've got to work for it. They've got to actually, it's not an easy walkover. So I'm doing what I came here to do.
Just on that point, how is everybody going at... I mean, how well are you predicting the other person's team as to what they're going to bring?
Last
Well,
week, I missed it completely, unfortunately, which I really paid for actually in the fight. This week, I actually nailed it. I predicted exactly what he was going to bring. I'm not sure if that was good strategy or just dumb luck, but yeah.
In my case,
I mean, I suppose with...
I knew Lama was going to come in with pretty much the same things he had last week. I mean, there was obviously some minor changes, but that was pretty much a given what he had. In terms of what the Duke had the previous week as well, there wasn't really too much surprise there for me. I mean, the Ludicolo was a bit of a surprise. I didn't know whether it actually aimed to try to bring the Dragonite in or not, but there wasn't too much surprise for me. So I've been fairly successful in that.
Yeah,
I
think
think
from my part, I think I've gone basically 5 out of 6 both weeks. I think last week I was expecting the Nido King that didn't come. And then this week, I think the only thing I missed was, what was it? Actually, I don't think I was expecting the Holucha. I don't remember what I was expecting in its place, but yeah, the Holucha threw me a bit. But yeah, I suppose with only 9 potential guesses, you're going to get 3 right guaranteed. So
Yeah, well, based on that as well, because I know that I don't have that much experience, so I've been sort of trying to aim to go, well, there's 3 or 4 that I definitely expect, and then just sort of have a general idea of what could be in the other slots and have plans for those, but not try to counter a specific pick. Like, I haven't tried to pick all 6 each week, so I've also lost both weeks, so maybe I should be trying a bit harder. I don't know.
I don't think it's a matter of trying to pick the 6. I think it's more a matter of trying to analyse what you expect the lead is probably going to be, what the strategy is going to be, and basically pick what your weakness is going to be, what they're going to capitalise on yourself. And that's really how I came into this particular fight this week with, because I knew I was going to be seeing a lot of poison and a lot of fighting, and if I could plug those gaps, if I could beat the Toxicroak and the Gallade on speed, then I knew I had that particular battle down on the numbers. So the spreadsheets told me everything was fine. So I was more confident this week than I was last week, even knowing this team was worse for me if I didn't have a plan.
All right. So round 3.
We've just got next week to think about.
Yes. So round 3, we have the Adelaide Crobats versus the Blue Mountain Milotics, which is Kaka versus Nova. The North Sydney Ninetales versus the Perth Hills Houndooms, Dezzles versus Guthie. The Brunswick Bidoofs versus the Perth Cloysters, the Duke versus Lama. And of course, the MissingNos versus the North Queensland Noiverns, which is myself versus Beav. I got to actually say, though, I wasn't expecting you to actually adopt the MissingNos name. When I was
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it just happened. When I was throwing together the badges, I was going down the list and making them as I go, and then I hit your name in case of unknown. In case of, right, okay. Looked at the fixtures, not in there. So, okay, I'm on a roll now. MissingNo, done. Stick it up there as a joke.
Yeah, well, look, I'm trying to do something a little bit different and unexpected every week, so I thought that fits in pretty well, is that it's, not going to be the normal thing you'd expect.
Yep.
I mean, I think the other name I picked was the Southern Swarm, because I was waiting until we drafted to then sort of go around the Mega, but I like MissingNos a lot better.
Yeah. And it was actually a lot of fun when I put together your leader card for the main thread, just to mess it up.
Oh, that's great! Like all the little ones that are around the wrong way. The colours are out. There's a train. My 10th one's actually the trainer, so I get to draft the trainer.
Yeah, I couldn't actually animate that like it was originally the original sprite. It's actually the MissingNo sprite from Red and Blue, which is it oscillates between a trainer and some sort of round butt-shaped thing.
The days of MissingNo.
Yes, which we will be revisiting very soon. Provided, of course, they haven't removed it.
Yeah, well, I hope they haven't patched it out of these re-releases coming out next week.
I hope not. I really hope not.
They probably have, but we can hope.
We can hope.
Well, look, if they've patched it out, at least, please make Kangaskhan and Taurus catchable. Oh, God.
Yes.
Oh, Safari Zone only.
The vanilla Safari Zone. Never again. Never again. Throw rock, throw bait, throw ball. Missed entirely.
Ran away.
Ruined. Ran away.
Yeah.
All right.
We're showing our age here a bit, aren't we?
Just a bit. Just a bit. Hey, it took, just the other day, it took me 17 years, well, 18 years now. I finally got a Mew.
Nice.
13-year-old me is extremely happy.
And I'm still ticked about the ones I can't pull up my blue cartridge.
All right. So is there anything else before we wrap out?
Look, I'd
Please
like to
don't
just say
destroy me
thanks.
too much next week, Kaka.
Thanks to Guthie for this week's battle. It was a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's great that everyone's taking the time to do this. Yeah, I'm looking forward to next week's battle.
Absolutely. I was wondering what little sneaky things I can pull out of the drawer for you.
Yeah, I'll probably
I have a few nasty tricks that I have not shown yet. I have
Yeah,
quite
I
a few
have to start
nasty.
I'll start working on the game plan on the train in the morning.
Well, we'll see if
Yeah,
someone
I got to
actually
start
make me,
doing some prep too.
Oh, yeah, let's see if you can actually make me display more than 4 Pokemon.
Well,
Yes,
fingers crossed. If I can see all 6 of Kaka's Pokemon on the field, I'm counting as a win.
Oh, yeah. We'll see
I'm
what
sure it'll be
happens.
good fun.
It will be. It will
We
be.
made him champion last year for a reason.
Maybe a noob at battling, but I can breed well, and my brain's a freaking computer.
You
You
can
beat a
work the
computer,
numbers.
you can beat me.
That's what worries me.
All right then. So yeah, thank you very much for listening, everyone. We stay tuned to catch the results. We will post up the download codes for the individual battles should you so want to see them. I believe Dezzles has done a live cast of our battle, which might just involve him sitting and weeping in front of his computer. I don't know. I'm so sorry, Dezzles. So yeah, keep an eye out for that and all the other little bits and pieces that might come out with it.
Oh, there is one more thing, which just really came to light this afternoon. The order of some of the fixtures has changed for anyone who isn't aware. So the original plan was for the 2 pods to battle internally for the first 6 rounds and then face the other pod. Guthie has changed it up, which is actually a pretty good idea to give everyone as, I suppose, even playing field of information as possible. So we're running the first 7 rounds, first 3 rounds against your own pod, then the next 4 rounds against the opposing pod, then back to your own pod for the last 3 before the final series now.
Yes. So I'll update that once I update the rest of the thread. All right then. I think that's just about it. I'm reaching for the stop button, but I don't actually have the stop button at the moment. We have, and nothing's caught fire this time.